every once in a while, Crack Squad does something that's so incredibly stupid. I feel bad keeping it to myself. In other words, I think everybody ought to get to enjoy it, right? And so, I made some short videos today while I was running around doing some errands. And in the comments, again, I see the same guy. He's done this twice now. This is the second time. This new buck, he makes a comment here. And so let's let that comment bake for a minute without getting to the meat of this, right? Just that comment alone is incredibly stupid, right? Because if my wife was driving, so what? Right? But, Crack Squad, we're talking about extremely low IQ Neanderthal idiots who literally think that there's something wrong with riding shotgun. They think there's something wrong with letting your wife drive, right? This is the second time this guy's commented by this. Okay. So just letting that comment bake on its own, it's just ridiculously stupid, right? It's 2023, right? Women drive all the time, son. I mean, my wife's got her own driver's license, and I even let her go to the store by herself sometimes. I mean, come on. What? You think someone would be ashamed or embarrassed that their wife was driving, right? But that's not the meat of this video. The meat of this video is, I made a response video to him, giving him the Crack Squadian Award for the week. Here. Rich Newbuck, you win the Crack Squadian Award for this week, the first week of February. And for those of you that want to know how he won, he's a little bit confused on how cell phones work, and he's in the comments slobbering, thinking that I'm letting my wife drive again, his words, as if that would be an insult or something if you let your wife drive. But I'm alone and I'm in the driver's seat. And it's because he's confused. He doesn't understand that cell phones mirror the image onto a CMOS sensor to record or take a photo. Therefore, your right's your left, your's right. It's always been that way. So you win. And I thought that would be the end of it. He'd be a little bit embarrassed and maybe Google to make sure I'm not pulling his leg, and right? Because, man, they're right there. They have an internet device in their hand. You'd think they would use it, right? Well, no. Not Crack Squad. Now, I'm still perplexed as to what you're trying to get at. His wife's driving again. What are you trying to get at with that? That is some kind of a dig or an insult? But I make the response video thinking, made him look like a fool. Whew, just go away now. And then Isaac responds to that video with this.
So no matter what the case is, Jimmy, you have to lie, right?
Rich Newbuck, you win the Crack Squadian Award for this week, the first week of February. And for those of you that want to know how he won, he's a little bit confused on how cell phones work, and he's in the comments slobbering, thinking that I'm letting my wife drive again, his words, as if that would be an insult or something if you let your wife drive. But I'm alone and I'm in the driver's seat. And it's because he's confused. He doesn't understand that cell phones mirror the image onto a CMOS sensor to record or take a photo. Therefore, your right's your left, your's right. It's always been that way. So, you win.
You're a fucking liar, dude.
So never fails, Ryan.
You're a fucking liar, Jimmy. You're in the passenger fucking seat, you dumb bitch.
Nastiest, filthiest.
And here's how I can tell you're a fucking liar, Jimmy. Here's exactly how I know you're a fucking liar, Jimmy. Check this out. This was the other day when I was in my sister's car. In the passenger seat, Jimmy.
Doxing my bitch.
Oh shit, I can't.
Like you're in fucking kindergarten, dude. I'm gonna paint this picture. You look like you were finger painting, motherfucker.
Well,
What's
here's
so
the
funny
thing,
though?
Why is this dick shooting out shit though? I mean, look.
No, listen, he did that, and I was like,
Let me guess, Jimmy, I'm driving, right?
Listen to the excitement in his voice. Now, I've said this before, and mainly to Rusty Truck, because he accuses me of lying over the silliest stuff. And I'll never forget him making a video about, well, I couldn't possibly be working on dealer cars because blah, 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 blah. Well, why would you lie about that? You know, actually working on retail cars is more money. You get paid more money to work on retail cars, Rusty. So if a guy was going to brag, you wouldn't like down brag. You're a one-upper. You know how that works, right? So, you know, and then I forgot. I realized, wait a minute. We're dealing with a guy that lies all the time, and he's a one-upper. So he assumes everybody else is lying all the time. But my argument to that is you got to have a reason to want to lie if you're going to lie. I always thought if a person's going to lie, there's probably some reason why they're lying. So you wouldn't say, for example, you wouldn't look at the temperature outside and see that it says it's 42 degrees, right? You wouldn't be compelled to lie and say it said it was 47 degrees. Both are cold, right? So if it's 42 degrees, why would you say it's 47 degrees? Okay. These are the kind of things that Rusty Truck thinks you're lying about, right? And he sets out to try to prove that, as silly as it sounds. And so you seen Ismic's response video, right? And then I set out to make a response video to that. But I want you to read these comments first. See the comment from Rusty Truck. Notice how he takes issue with these truths that expose him, right? And we are talking about me saying, no, my wife's not driving, I'm alone. Like, what? If my wife was driving, Rusty, I'd say, yeah, my wife's driving. What's it to you? There's no reason to lie about something like that, Rusty. I know you lie about everything in the world. So you think everybody else does too, but I'm telling you, you're alone on that. Only one-uppers like you lie all the time. Normal, confident men, alpha males like myself, have no reason to lie. And you crack squadians have never caught me in a lie to date. You pretending that I lied about something doesn't mean I lied. And if my wife was driving, I would proudly tell you, yeah, my wife's driving. No reason to lie about it. But I just want that comment to bake with you for a minute. These truths that expose him. And read Isaac slobbering there while you're at it. So then I made a response video to that. I can't believe I even have to make this video, but we're dealing with Crack Squad. You know, this is why Isaac still lives with his mom past 30. He has the IQ of a rock and the intelligence of a jelly bean. For one, so what if I would let my wife drive? I don't even get why that would be a thing, why you would even comment about that. But, honey, pay attention. Is that a steering wheel? That is a steering wheel, isn't it? Is that a passenger seat right there? Is that the dashboard over there? Is that the steering wheel right here? This is why we call you Crack Squad. You never, ever check things. You just knee-jerk react without checking. And so there it is. I gave the Crack Squadian award out too early. You, Buck, certainly earned it by thinking that your wife driving is some kind of an insult, and then not knowing that cell phones record the image backwards. And excuse me, but I'm fairly certain that's widely known. Okay, that's not like some secret or something you would know if you're techie. It's just something people have always known, right? Hence the standing in front of mirrors all the time instead of reversing. Why people take pictures that way. But anyway, you read all these slobbering comments, and to think that Rusty Truck is also so stupid, he doesn't know cell phones use a mirror to put the image on a CMOS sensor because there's no room for a lens. And that they record backwards, and then you got to use some kind of software to correct that. And again, some cell phones are coming now with that software in it, but for a lot of cell phones still today, and for the longest time, it has been that way. You record with a cell phone, it's going to reverse your image on you, okay? Unless you're using some type of corrective software, whether it's internal to the phone or in some kind of an app you're using, whether it be the YouTube app, whether it be the Snapchat app or something. But the image the cell phone records, I can guarantee you, is a mirror, because that's the only way it's capable of recording. But just knowing that Rusty Truck is that stupid too. You see his comment. Isaac exposed me for lying that my wife was driving when I was by myself and you were looking at a reversed cell phone image. But we still haven't gotten to the cherry on top. Okay? And the cherry on top is, I got to hand it to you, Crack Squad. You guys are the dumbest group of people to ever assemble together. It shocks me that this many low IQ people can find each other. You got this vast world. You got this vast internet, right? They say 1 billion comments a minute on social media. And this group of ultra low IQ Neanderthals happen to find each other and chum with each other. Isn't that remarkable? I mean, you're looking at a group of guys here who actually think it's an insult to let your wife drive, and 2, that you would lie about it, and 3, that they didn't know cameras record in a mirror image. Not to mention, they all believed the Kylie Rodney nonsense coming from Ryan Upchurch, that a YouTuber, a war veteran YouTuber, made a video with her dog kayaking over to go move the body. And had circus music playing in the back and uploaded it to YouTube. Upchurch found it. They believed it. They believed that that was a Yamaha scuba bike in the back of that car and not a common kayak transporter. The wheel of a kayak transport. They actually believed that image of a guy sitting in his garage, that street view image of a guy sitting in his garage with white tennis shoes, was somehow connected to the Ronnie Jones video in his car when the satellite street image was 10 years old. Ronnie Jones would have been a little kid because he's only 18. If the picture's 10 years old, that'd make him 8. Or how about here's the better one. Okay, now, some of you guys are forgetting who we're talking about here. How about Upchurch couldn't find the community center that they were having the press conferences from on Google Satellite. And so they were all convinced that was all being staged and it was like some kind of a set somewhere in Hollywood and it was all fake and the government was doing a cover up on this small town girl that nobody ever heard of from middle class parents that nobody ever knew and to help bolster some low level small town politician. I mean, they believed all this stuff, right? They think that somebody took the car and put it in the water there later. There's no clues. Nobody knows, right? Nobody's catching them. Nobody's on to them, right? So they're going to risk going back to the scene and bringing that car back that everyone's looking for. Put it in the water. They believe this stuff. And so you got to say to yourself, how in the world do that many low IQ people run into each other on the internet and become friends? It's just something worth pointing out, Hey, Rusty, dude, you're really dumb. Cell phones record in a reverse image, and it has always been that way, Rusty. And if my wife was driving, I'd say, yeah, my wife's driving. What's it to you? That'd be my response to that. I would have no need to lie and say, oh, no, I'm driving. She's not driving. Oh, no, don't let anybody find out. I mean, I'm secure enough as a man, Rusty, that I can let my wife drive and wouldn't embarrass me at all. You guys at one point have got to start being ashamed of yourselves. I mean, you guys make such fools out of yourselves trying to come at me. It's like they watch my videos. Okay, now let's face it. Rusty Truck would not even have a YouTube channel but for me, right? If he didn't make videos talking about me, he couldn't buy a view. He couldn't buy a subscriber if he wasn't talking about me. He would not have a channel. He wouldn't have 30 people watching his live stream. He'd have none. And he wouldn't have 300 subscribers. He'd have none unless he talks about me. But just knowing, Rusty, that you're so dumb that A, you think a person would need to lie about whether or not their wife was driving. I mean, that's incredibly stupid. And 2, that you didn't know cell phone images were mirrored, reversed. And then to see all the other people comment and agreeing, and I'm thinking, my God, man. What are the chances of this many dumb people running into each other? And then you got Eismick literally talking about accomplishments while he lives with his mom, unemployed. It's just, I don't know where you get it from, man. But yeah, it's good to know you're that dumb, Rusty Truck, that you don't know cell phone images are reversed and you think somebody would need to lie that their wife was driving. That's just crazy to me. It just really, it lets me know who I'm dealing with. And I'm dealing with some really insecure pussy, man. Just some insecure one-upper. I wish I was. And it warms my heart to know you're that damn dumb and you're that desperate. I mean, they hang on my videos looking like Rusty will watch everything in the background of the video, just looking for something he can comment about. I'll give you an example. I had one the other day. So I'm in my work clothes. I'm out in and out of the shop. I got my work jacket on. I got my work shirt on, you know. And I wrestle with my dogs all the time. You know, I'll come in the door and the dog will want to play and I'll get down the floor and wrestle with him. You know, my English setter, he's a blast, right? And this lady made a comment that I had a dog hair on my shirt. Like that was going to somehow like embarrass me or something, that I had a dog hair on my shirt. And you look at these dirtbags, they don't even shave or comb their hair or brush their teeth or. Crack Squad. I want to be real serious with you because I'm in a good enough mood. I think I'm going to go live here in just a little bit and talk about this bullshit story we're being fed by Mr. Upchurch. Okay. But I want you to listen to me, guys. Okay? Crack Squad. Ryan is on drugs. His family. Now, I want you to understand something. This is my perception based on my time on this earth dealing with drugs and addicts. Okay? So this is my perception and my perception only. Pay attention. You too, Rusty. Rusty. You. But don't quit staring at all the stuff in the background of my video looking for something you can comment that could possibly embarrass me or something. Because it's not going to happen. I'm not ashamed of anything in my life, Rusty. So you're wasting your time. I'm not ashamed of nothing. I want you to listen. Ryan is on drugs. He's been on drugs for a while and has progressively gotten worse. Most of his close family and friends were in denial, just like you guys. But now it has reached the point where it's no longer in denial. They can't be in denial now because the monster it's bubbled to the surface. Now we saw the crazy talk with the massively overlarge pupils during the Kylie Rodney thing and videos in between, and that were frightening. It was really frightening to see him that way. And a couple of those videos, he looked like a panicked crackhead, and it just make you just take a deep breath. Okay, really set you back if you really care about the man. Okay. See, Crack Squad doesn't really care about Ryan. They care about their relationship with Ryan. Got nothing to do with him, the person. It's got to do with them being friends with him, the person. Now, that's important. You guys need to understand that. It comes from a place of selfishness with them. That's why they can't face any of these realities. Here's the reality. And this is solely my perception. But it doesn't come from a place of stupidity. It comes from a place of wisdom. So are you ready? Ryan's on drugs, Rusty. Isaac. He's been on drugs for quite a while. Progressively gotten worse to the point where his family could no longer live in a place of denial about it. And on Thanksgiving Day, along with Beth, his dad, his mom, his brothers and sisters, and a few business associates, tried to invoke an intervention. And he reacted the same way we have seen every addict react when their loved ones try to force them into an intervention. They lash out, they feel betrayed. So on Thanksgiving Day, he smashed the windshield out of the car and ordered them out of the house. Told them they weren't allowed to live there no more because they stabbed him in the back and they betrayed him. And because Beth was involved in that intervention and told them some things that they probably didn't know, he felt betrayed by her, accused her of stabbing him in the back, and he kicked her out too. His mother's been very concerned about the amount of money that's been flying out of the account. And she knows that Belus is on drugs too. And they can no longer trust that there are good decisions being made. So his mother, knowing that the Rodney family is about to sue Ryan, and they're coming for blood, she was trying to save some money by putting it in the one thing that can't ever deplete, and that is real estate, and then quick deed it into someone else's name. So by this time next year, when the Kylie Rodney suit is in litigation, Ryan won't lose everything he works for. And he did not win that court case with Nicole. He absolutely didn't win that case, Rusty. And if you went to the courthouse and looked the same way you do me, you have no problem digging into my background. You better do some checking there. Because he did not win that case. He also did not win the case against the promoters that got stuck with a bunch of tickets they had to refund and deposits to lighting companies and staging companies and union cable pullers and shit like that, right? And security and the reservation for the venue, and they lost money and they wanted it back, and they did get it back. They won. And he made an out of court settlement offer to Nicole, guys, on drugs. And when this all plays out, I'm going to rub it in you guys' face big time for being so selfish about your relationship with him that you weren't willing to care enough to just sit back a minute and go, what if? That stuff he was saying during the Kylie Rodney case didn't even make sense, guys. And he believed it because he was getting angry and getting red in the face. And you don't act that. That's not an act. I've noticed a radical change in his personality since about the time Beth showed up around there. And every time I saw her, she appeared to me to be stoned, big time stoned. For real stoned, not like I just want to insult you and say you're stoned. No, for real stoned.
nodding off and everything else. So I'm here to rub it in your face. And Crack Squad, this thread of comments here about something as silly as whether my wife was driving or not, based on you thinking I'm in the passenger seat because the damn cell phone image is reversed, and to see the level you went to with it, and even Rusty Truck claiming I was exposed for being a liar. You guys ought to be embarrassed. That's embarrassing. If you're not embarrassed by that, then you're even dumber than I thought. Got to do better, Crack Squad. This is bad. This looks bad. This makes you look really dumb. It does. And your boy's on drugs. And Creek Squad should be a united front. Not edging him on. So I'm going to be here to say I told you so. I'm going to make you feel damn bad about it because you'll deserve it.